Thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time to view this. I am honored and privileged to interview Teri Vu Nguyen for District 4 Councilwoman for the City of Westminster, covering Little Saigon area. Teri.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
Teri, I want to keep this really informal because I know you're so focused on the community and not focused on other politicians, you know, from a federal, state, and even local level, the bickering back and forth and everything like this. Teri, we have mutual friends who have sincerity, honesty, and integrity, and a focus on the traditional Vietnamese values of family, entrepreneurship, and education. So if you don't mind just telling me a bit about yourself and your family and why those core Vietnamese values are so important to you and why they translate so good the way politics should be.
Well, thank you, Dan. To me, family is for all races, not just for Vietnamese. And when you build a foundation in a family and very, very strong, that's how it's a stepping stone so that every single one of us will move on to be strong, to stay together, and that's how politics is almost like that. So because of family value, foundation, it's like it form you to the person you are now.
Yes.
Yes.
It's something that, as you said, all races should aspire to. Everybody would agree. Family, being an entrepreneurship, having strong businesses, and focusing on the proper education of our youth are important for politics because that makes our laws, the way we're stewards of the taxpayer dollars, and the respect for any race. Speaking for myself, I happen to be Caucasian. When I go to a skilled nursing assisted living home, they're filled with Caucasians. But that's why I have that value that every race should aspire to, no matter who you are or what politics that you have.
Right.
We talked about how those values translate to politics because it's sustainable politics. It's the future of our communities, and we have to have that. Can you tell me a bit more about your unification, your unity and rebuild, and why you want to focus on that, and what you want to do for the community?
Right. So as we said before, family it's a foundation, and we stay together. To me, the community in the city should be the same. So if we don't unify, then we'll fall apart. Running for City of Westminster District 4, my passion was, well, actually, the community is my family because I've been here for 36 years. I live in this city.
Can you? I hate to interrupt you. Can you tell me a little bit about your family history? What your maiden name was?
Oh, I see. Okay, so my parent was immigrated to the United States back in 1975. When my dad first came to United States, his passion was to serve the community. Maintain, the cultures, the languages. So he established Little Saigon Radio.
Saigon Radio?
Yes,
wow.
that's the founder. And at that time, I wasn't involved because I was so young. You know, we go to school, we study, we have 7 in our family. And after that, I followed my dad, and I liked what he was doing. So he would take me everywhere with him, and that's how I learned to follow my dad, and I wanted to keep that legend, on into the next generation.
What was, just for the viewers who might not know, what was the name of your father?
Oh, his name is Vu Nguyen.
Okay.
And my maiden Vietnamese name is Vu Thanh Hương. And after I got married, my last name changed, and then I become an American citizen, so my name changed to Teri Vu Nguyen.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I didn't know that part. I haven't known you for 35 years.
Yeah.
On a personal note, did you guys come through Guam originally?
My dad we went to Guam, and then we were later on to La Palma, California.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
I've spent time in Guam, and I've spent time in La Palma.
Yes. Yeah.
I know it's so important to you not to focus on political labels, but actually actions for the community. Do you mind just briefly explaining your plan for the community? I know we had talked when I was having a meeting with you, talked about everything from crosswalks to the homeless to helping small businesses in Little Saigon and being a steward of the hard-earned tax dollars. You mentioned the economy, the tax revenues, like a bucket of water, and there's a hole in it, and we keep putting more water, which is the money, and we're not fixing the problems. You know, as I said, we keep raising taxes. What do you want to do to help fix that and to help implement those issues you mentioned to me?
Well, being a business owner for over 36 years, with my medical call center plus Bolsa tickets, was very well known to the community. I understand very well how budgeting is, and I wanted to take that experience when I elected and work with the city clerk, city financial, to see the budget is spent correctly, fairly, and where it's supposed to go, so we can fix that hole.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Dan. Thank you so much for asking that question.
No, it just amazes to me, you know, how, you know, if we got everything that people are promised, number one, you can't deliver on it, and if they did, we'd be at a 75% tax bracket, right?
Yes, yes.
So I like you want to be a good steward of the people's money. And on a personal note, that's why I'm supporting Teri, and I've never done anything like this before. It's because she's very selfless, and she's doing this for the heart of the Vietnamese community. And I love the Vietnamese community. That's a long story. But I've been in Little Saigon for over 20 years supporting the local businesses. Do you mind here in closing, in these closing minutes, talking about what you want to do, the specific actions you want to do for the community, and why it doesn't matter what political party you are, why you want to earn their support?
Yeah. I think this is a very good time for people who are so tired of the corruption in City of Westminster, the homeless issue. We're talking about possible bankruptcy down here in the City of Westminster. So I think what we're missing here is the unify. We need to all sit together, working and find out where the problem is, and solve it and rebuild the Westminster.
Sure. And what are the problems that you want to start addressing?
Well, I think as a business owner, I wanted to focus on the business people that needs help. You know, after the COVID, we're all struggling. I wanted to work on how I can work with them to help them bring more, the business more successful.
Sure.
How to get grant to bring into the city to help the small business, and give them more educational.
Yeah.
To run the business, the American, the stream,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because,
I know earlier.
Yes.
You had mentioned the words economic house and order, that you said all the issues out there, we got to put it to the side. When you talked about that, it reminded me of if a plane was crashing, you have to put your oxygen mask on first,
yes, before
you
you
can
help.
save anybody else. You got your mask on, and you want to help literally save Westminster.
Yes.
Do you mind just briefly touching on the issues that you mentioned to me earlier about homelessness, about even down to crosswalks and being a good steward of the money?
Well, the city of Westminster it's full of homeless people. We all feel sorry for them. I have a heart for them, but that doesn't mean they have the right to take over our city and everything.
Sure.
So there's a way that we can help put the homeless where they belong, not
effectively.
Effectively,
like San Francisco spends $106,000 a year on each homeless person.
Right.
We can fix this problem together.
First, I need all of you to vote for me, and to help me to handle this homeless issue. I can't do it myself. Remember, we're a family then. This is our community. This is our family. So we need to work together, unify, and rebuild the Westminster.
And unfortunately, we're running out of time. I wish we could have a longer interview. But would you mind just looking at the camera and explaining to folks, no matter what your political persuasion is, if you live in District 4, Teri needs and appreciates and would be indebted for your vote, and she will earn it every day.
Thank you, Dad. Well, I need all of you to work with me first to help the homeless issue. We need to work together, and please come to me and tell me what you need, and I will bring your voice to the City Hall. And I hope that we're going to end this up, but I can't do it myself. I need your votes for me to sit in that City Council District 4. Please vote for me, and together we will rebuild City of Westminster. Thank you,
Teri.
Dan.
Thank you, Teri.